In this video, we'll take a closer look at how the AutoArp rack extension works and what it can be used for. AutoArp is one of the most complex devices in Reason and can be quite overwhelming at first. When a key is pressed, the signal passes through several modules. The best way to learn AutoArp is to examine each module individually. Let's turn them all off, and also let's connect an instrument to the main output so we can hear what AutoArp is doing. The first thing we have to choose is the key and the scale. These two parameters define how AutoArp constructs chords and arpeggios. If you don't know what a key or a scale is, that's okay. You don't really need to know music theory to use this device, but it wouldn't hurt to read up on it. Very simply put, when composing a piece of music, we usually do not want to use all 12 notes. That would sound pretty awful, unless you really know what you're doing. Instead, we choose a small subset of the 12 notes and stick with it. That's a scale. Each scale has a different mood and feel. The major scale sounds cheerful. The minor scale sounds sad. The oriental scale sounds, well, oriental. It's kind of like food. The taste of food can't be described. You really need to try it for yourself. Anyway, back to AutoArp. The scale mapper tells us which notes are in the scale. For example, C minor has 7 notes: C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, and B flat. If we stick to those notes, our track will be in harmony. The scale mapper also makes sure that all the notes we play actually belong to the scale. If we hit a wrong note, the scale mapper will find a suitable replacement. For example, if I try to play the note E, AutoArp won't let me because E is not in the scale. Instead, it will play the closest note in the scale, E flat. Let's pick a few notes and create a pattern. Now that we have our notes, we can create chords. A chord is several notes played at the same time. Each note in the scale mapper has a matching chord. To see which chord will be generated, use the button below the note. For example, if we play the C note, the associated chord consists of 3 notes: C, E flat, and G, as indicated by the dots above the letters. This is the so-called minor chord. Sounds pretty sad, doesn't it? If we play D, the chord is D, F, A flat. This is called a diminished chord. Diminished chords sound very tense. You can see how AutoArp can be used as a tool for learning the different emotions associated with chords and scales. Let's play our previous note pattern, but with chords enabled. For each note, AutoArp will play a chord that fits the scale. Now that we have chords, we can generate arpeggios. If a chord is several notes played at the same time, an arpeggio is several notes played one by one. Let's turn on the Arpeggiator. This module has lots of parameters for tweaking the arpeggio. Some of them, like rate, shuffle, and gate length, should be familiar. Finally, we can customize our arpeggio step by step using the sequencer. When we first turn on the sequencer, nothing changes. All we see is the notes of our arpeggio passing through. By changing the parameters of each step, we can do things like turning off individual notes and creating rhythmic patterns. Changing the octave of individual notes. Or even replacing a note with a chord. You should now have a general understanding of how AutoArp works. There are still a few things we didn't cover, but I'll save that for another video.